Do you know that vulture capitalists can force even an entire country, let alone companies, to pay them for their own profits? No, it's not a joke. Listen to this. You must have heard about this beautiful South American country, Argentina, right? You know what? Argentina had to forcefully pay its six vulture fund capitalists who had invested in the country's debt a whopping 6.4 billion US dollars. Why? As a part to settle its sovereign debt of 82 billion US dollars that it had run into during the economic crisis of 2001. Did you guys notice this word force in this example? Yes. These vulture funds can actually force entire country and organization to pay them back. Of course, legally. And this is the topic for the day today. We'll learn all about vulture funds, how it works, its types, good and bad, and much, much more. Hi all, my name is Dheeraj Vaidya from wallstreetmojo.com, the home for most authentic place to learn finance and accounting. Let's get started. Okay guys, so let's begin by knowing what actually are vulture funds. So these vulture funds are the funds that buy distressed securities of companies or even debt-ridden countries that have a very high chance of going default. So to put it simply, these vulture funds is the money that is invested in the process of vulture capitalism, that involves making money out of the dying firms. They buy shares of these distressed firms at a significantly discounted price, and then they aim to make profit by using specific legal means. We'll be discussing that later. So the whole process actually starts when the portfolio manager of the vulture fund sets their eye on an investment option that they basically think will offer higher returns because of the high default risk that's involved. Now, once that and other important research on the targeted company or let's say the country is done, the vulture capitalist approaches that targeted firm in debt. So what they do is they basically settle their debt by purchasing their struggling securities from the secondary market at a rock bottom price. This way they become the primary lender to the struggling company. Okay, so let's now discuss how these guys actually make profits. So once these vulture capitalists have taken over the debt of the targeted company, what these guys do is they set very aggressive financial goals to reap out profit at any cost. So generally there are three ways through which these guys can earn profit. The very first way is where let's say the firm performs well and is able to clear the debt that it owes to the vulture firms, right? The other way is called as asset stripping, where the vulture capitalists actually sell or strips off some of the company's assets to ensure better returns. However, let's say the firm or the country is unable to pay its debt, then these vulture funds recover their investments by taking the debtors or say the original issuers of the security to court to basically recover their debt. So this is what happened with Argentina's case, that we pointed out in the beginning. It sounds like Vulture is fishing off its dying prey, doesn't it? So now that you know how strict these guys are in their recovery mechanism, you may be wondering actually that why firms or countries even resort to vulture funds, right? So a short answer to this would be that generally these companies or countries would opt for these vulture funds when they have lost all hopes of revival. So basically they will go default or bankrupt at any point in time. So yes, it's basically like say a drowning man will hold on to let's say even a thread as a last resort. However, even working as the last hope, there is no doubt that these funds have a great number of disadvantages attached to them. Let's look at some of them. So these vulture funds come at a very, very high interest rates. And they, let's say the firm, if it doesn't meet their payouts, the vulture capitalists will take control of some of the company's assets and even lease them back the same assets to the company. at a very high interest rates. So what will this do? This will totally deflate a struggling company or the economy. Vulture capitalists are also known to reduce the number of employees in the firms that they invest in. So this generally has a very negative impact on the employment rate as well. Vulture funds, as evil as they might sound, they do have some advantages. Let's look at some of them. The truth is that the world relies on vulture funds who step in and help in reviving the failing businesses and even governments. Also, if you look at vulture capitalism, it plays a pivotal role in reallocating resources in the economy by taking out people or resources from a place where they are not, being optimally utilized to a place where they can be better utilized, right? So, think of this. The villain also has a bright side to it. So now that you have a fair idea of the structure of vulture funds, let's look at some of the investment areas that vulture capitalists target. Most of the time, they make investments in highly profitable yet highly risky markets. Some of them actually include something like this: real estate markets, debt securities of loss-making companies, especially in developing nations, and they even target equity shares of companies that can provide high returns. So finally, let's find out, are these vulture funds good or bad? Look, for me, I think, it's kind of both. I mean, there's no doubt that these vulture capitalists prey on the weak and the helpless firms, and they rip them off financially if they fail to deliver. However, the flip side is that the world economy actually needs vulture capitalism as a last resort. They kick forward the stagnant boats of these, dying and defaulting businesses. It's like, two sides of the same coin, right? I hope you found this video to be useful. Please do like and share. And if you have any feedback or want to suggest a topic for any future videos, then you may do so by writing about it in the comments section. Also, we come up with interesting videos on finance and accounting topics regularly. So if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, then please do so by clicking on the subscribe button below so that you can get the notification about our latest videos as soon as we release one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.